It has gone unnoticed by many, but there has been a slow surge of high-tech development over the past several years in Southern California. Now a report out suggests that could accelerate rapidly, bringing new jobs, opportunity, and industry to the region, if the right steps are taken. Zack, Zalon, and Brendon Cassidy are founding members of the LA Mayor's Council on Innovation and Industry. Both are with Wilshire Axon Group. Zack, first to you. Why this council? What was its purpose?
So we've been doing business in Los Angeles for 18 years, innovation-led, entrepreneur-led businesses. And there's always been a perception gap between the way that LA is perceived outside and the way that LA actually is. Never more so than now. And that's gotten very frustrating for us over this period of time that we've been doing internet-led or innovation-led businesses, and we felt like we needed to do something about it. So earlier this year, Brendon and I reached out to 25 like-minded business leaders, innovators, or entrepreneurs, as well as to the mayor's office, directly to Mayor Villaraigosa, to put together a private-public partnership that could really have an impact and could perhaps solve some of these perception problems once and for all.
What did you find?
Well, we found that the perception problems were real, that in a travel and leisure magazine study, for instance, they looked at the number of intelligent people, percentage of intelligent people they thought were in Los Angeles. It ranked near the bottom or at the bottom. And the truth is we have more PhDs in Los Angeles than any other city. And when we look at the challenge about this narrative, telling the truth about Los Angeles, its history of innovation and boundless creativity, is important to help the whole region move forward, to help capital recognize this is a place where it can come and invest, students to realize this is a place that they can stay and get involved with business.
The signature industry is film and television production. That's not the biggest industry, but it's the signature industry. Does that help or hurt in the narrative?
It's the one that's perceived. What's interesting about the narrative is it encompasses that industry as well. The cinema industry has been incredibly innovative, not just in the scripts and in the performances, but also in the technology that they use to make those films. If you look at, for instance, what James Cameron did with his innovations around 3D technology, facial capture for Avatar, I mean, those are real technical things that are happening right here in Los Angeles.
What did you propose in your report?
So we proposed a number of things, but I should actually step back for 1 minute and just suggest that yes, obviously film industry means a lot to Los Angeles, but there are so many other innovations that we can point to over the previous decades that actually we don't get the kind of credit for that we should. There are so many examples. The first ever internet node was in Los Angeles in 1969, not up in Silicon Valley as many people might think. The whole naming convention of the internet actually came out of here. The Aeron chair, the kind of architecture that we export, the manufacturing that we export. There really is a boundless creativity that is infused into the fabric of everything that we do here in Los Angeles, which includes the cinema industry, but also encompasses so many great innovations and so much great entrepreneurship across the entire landscape of Los Angeles.
But that landscape is spread out, and you hope to tie it together by a light rail system.
So there are a variety of things that we've found so far, and this is a work in progress, right? 25 individual members who have spent a fairly substantial amount of time. They've really given amount of their time, 700 plus hours in working sessions so far since the beginning of the year on behalf of this particular effort. And we found a variety of things around a narrative that we should all be sharing a common language, around the educational institutions that we should be taking advantage of, students that we should be connecting with opportunities so they don't leave when they graduate.
Are they leaving?
They are leaving. So Los Angeles, very surprisingly, actually has more engineers, more computer scientists and engineers being educated at one time than any other city in America. But more than 50% of them leave day one.
To some other city.
To some other city, to what they perceive as being different or better opportunities. And that's just not the case. Here's one example, 25 individual private council members. We did an informal poll of those 25 members and their companies. There are 500 knowledge worker openings today. 500 that need to be filled. And yet we have all these phenomenal students at these great educational institutions across Los Angeles. We're not connecting them well enough.
So you want to tie those companies into UCLA, USC, and the other higher education institutions?
Absolutely. It is definitely one of the things that we need to be doing here in LA.
Yeah. But let's talk about the Expo line, or what you call the Texpo line. How did you get to the point that you envision that as being a tech corridor?
Well, when we looked at what it's going to do, how it's going to connect downtown all the way to Silicon Beach and allow for not just people.
Silicon Beach.
Silicon Beach.
Okay.
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
Yes.
Got it.
But it's going to allow for not just people, but also companies and ideas to travel from one end of the city to another. And the committee that worked on this took a look at the land around that rail line and noticed that the city had over 1 million square foot of real estate that was either underused or available. and found tremendous opportunity to work in partnership with the city to start turning some of that real estate into innovation space, a place where new companies can start, where the universities, UCLA, USC, Caltech, can come together and start building this future of LA in innovation.
We're talking about high tech, its future in Southern California, and some things that, in a recent report, that could stimulate that kind of growth. We'll have a few more questions when News Conference returns. Back to News Conference. Zack, Zalon, and Brendon Cassidy are founding members of the Los Angeles Mayor's Council on Innovation and Industry, leaders in the tech industry trying to bring high tech to Southern California. It's already here. You want to improve it. Let's get back, if you don't mind, to this idea of the Expo line tying in these two areas, Santa Monica, downtown LA, where you've seen a surge in high tech. And you've got opportunities along that line because there's just so much vacant space. Has this been done before?
Roosevelt Island in New York City is a great example of this type of thing. So the city put Roosevelt Island and some property there up for RFP.
RFP meaning?
Request for proposal.
So some idea. What do we do with this land?
And their goal was to create this location for innovation, this place where entrepreneurs and students and schools can all come together and start creating amazing things.
New York has challenges that are greater than those of Los Angeles in that space. They need Roosevelt Island to train the next generation of knowledge workers. We actually have the next generation of knowledge workers here. They're just leaving. We need a zone for them to start the next generation of businesses. That's really the challenge that we have here. New York is actually one step behind us in that respect. If you talk to New York businesses, if you talk to the biggest New York businesses, what they will tell you is they are running out of talent very quickly and are starting to look to Los Angeles, not just Silicon Valley, but Los Angeles for the talent that they need. We are in an amazing position to dominate the knowledge worker society of the future. We really are undergoing a renaissance here in Los Angeles, and we have the opportunity to capitalize on that in the innovation and entrepreneurship space.
How much is capital the problem, or getting the investment into these small companies in Southern California?
It's certainly a problem, but I'll tell you that is a problem that is starting to diminish over time. So as an example, yesterday, Tony Pritzker, who's amongst the most respected businessmen, the Pritzker family out of Chicago, made an announcement that they're going to be bringing their VC arm, New World Ventures, very aggressively here to Los Angeles, and the $5.5 billion balance sheet that backs that up. And the reason that they gave was that when they looked across all cities across the country, and they looked at the maturity of innovation, right, how many generations of innovation have happened, and the capital associated with that environment, they found no other city other than Los Angeles where it was so upside down, where the opportunities for investment were massive, but the capital that was in the region wasn't. And that is one of, and I believe the first of, many examples of what we'll see over the coming years of capital sources, venture capital, private equity, and the like, recognizing that Los Angeles is a hotbed of innovation and investment opportunity, and the capital is just not there.
What does the city have to do?
Have to do for?
In terms of taking advantage of not just your report, but making this happen.
The city actually doesn't have to do much. The entrepreneurs that are a part of this council, we're committing to do all of the initiatives that we announced. We're doing it in partnership with the city. They're helping us along. They're helping to be a mouthpiece. They're connecting us up. They're working with us on the policy around like the Texpo line in order to make things happen. But this is a public-private partnership, and the council is committed to making things happen to help LA move forward.
And to that degree, you need to have UCLA, USC, and every other institution of higher learning on board.
Right, because we're sitting on a gold mine of human capital. Matt, we're the second largest college town in America, right? We graduate more engineers than any other city, and we need to look at ways to connect those universities with businesses so the entrepreneurs of tomorrow can make their way into our ecosystem. They can start working with local companies, take those bonds that you make in college, those lifelong bonds, and start making them in our local businesses, both inside of them and between them, to create this vibrant ecosystem that is just going to grow and grow and grow.
Do people appreciate just how much tech there is in LA now?
Not yet.
Why is that? And give us
It's a challenge with the narrative. We're not known for what we really are.
But it has grown exponentially over the past several years.
It has.
But we're not getting the credit that we yet deserve.
And it's because of the narrative, but at the same time, these people are coming to Southern California because they are hearing through the industry that this is the place to come.
They are, but here's the reality when it comes to perception, and here's what we're going to be doing to change it. Los Angeles is viewed by many outside of the city as superficial, extremely high in terms of smog, extremely high in terms of crime, and extremely low in terms of smart people. And the reality is that we have cleaner air than we've ever had. We are the second safest large city in America today. We have more PhDs in Los Angeles than any other city in America, and we are poised for massive growth based on infrastructure investments that we've made over the past decade. This is the time for Los Angeles.
So you need a PR firm is what you need. Where can people see this report on the web?
Two areas.
Yeah.
I hope it's on the web. I assume it's in high tech.
It is. There are really two. LAMCI.org, LAMCII.org, and edge.la, which is where a number of our initiatives are going to start coming to life.
Zack, Zalon, Brendon, Cassidy, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Colin.
This was fascinating. Good luck to you.